Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's good to see you guys. Thankful Lord, you've kept up with a lot of my shenanigans through my letters, because I've got a lot to tell you if you haven't. But these are some recent pictures of my ministry in Honduras, and it's been crazy. So in February, after Mom and Dad came down, I started a Bible club at my house. So first we had like 5, 8, 7 kids. Then it went to 15, and then it went to 45. Okay? So we had a lot of adjustments to do, and so the Lord has been really gracious. He sent me, I already had Karen helping me. Some of you have met Karen. But then her older brother, Tonya, jumped in and started driving a bus for us and picking up kids. And then another girl, her name is Dania. She and her cousin, she roped her cousins in to come in with her and helping with Bible Club. And so that's how I can be here and not worry about my Bible Club or the Lord's Bible Club, but, not worry about it because all through the summer they've been training, those cousins and Dania, they've been training to give classes and help with that. And so I went through a period there, I was just like, this is hard to give up. This is so hard to give up. And the Lord was just like, he was telling me, it's okay. You're going to leave in November, and they're going to need to know how to do it. And so the Lord, he just provided all through that change. And there was a couple of days, even the last week, I missed because my car broke down and I couldn't get back to the house in time. And I called them. I said, I can't make it. They're like, we're good. Don't worry. But I was crying. I'm like, it's not okay. It's not okay. I wanted to be there. And so he was like, it'll be next time. So, but anyway, that's a real dear and close part to my heart, that ministry there, which I will have to be giving up soon because of someone else we know. But anyway, my new ministry is here in Trapiche. This is a picture of the Bible Institute. Students, you'll see pictures of the Sunday school class and the church services, and what else do we do? There's some evangelism pictures and things that he's taken. And I told him, thank the Lord you're taking pictures of me teaching, because I have nothing. When you're at the teacher podium, your mind is not even on taking pictures of anything. So it's like somebody walked by and took a couple pictures. Otherwise, I have no evidence to show you guys that I've done anything. So anyway, thank the Lord for that. But and then what else is in there? Pictures of La Cruz. My English classes are kind of on the end of the video. There's some video of the girls reading, the ladies reading in English, and you can understand them, finally. So, but that's going good. They've just graduated from basic English, and it's not that they speak English very well, but they understand it pretty well, and then they can read and write in it, and so we're working on their vocalism a little bit, but anyway, then there was more pictures in there of that. Oh, the classes in Trapiche, I'm teaching high school English. And it's not just any high school English. Some of my high school students can't even read and write in their own language until this year. And so it's been a bit of a challenge, but we're getting through it, right? So he feels really thankful that his students, even there in the high school, can now read and write in Spanish. So he's like, we've made a lot of headway, don't worry. And so I'm like, okay, their English grades don't show it, but if you say they're improving, then I'll take your word for it. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and start the pictures, that's up to you. We may come up with something else to talk about between now and then, but
if you
our
pull
plans.
Oh, there you go.
Go ahead. So this is the assistant pastor. He's helping with services this morning and while we're here. About how many people do we normally have?
Around 30 or 40.
30 or 40. On any given Sunday, I could have 12 to 35 kids, so it's hard to count. That little village has a ton of kids. So if they hear the word piñata, God help you, because you're going to have 100 kids in your class. So this is a graduation we went to, one of the church members. This is a new couple.
Yeah.
They just got saved when?
The first time they were in the church were at the conference when you were there.
Okay.
They are saved.
Since January. This is Sunday school class. Yeah.
You always feed them breakfast or
No,
lunch?
because, I don't know, I'm a little bit scatterbrained on Sunday. It's a good day when I bring a snack. Besides, sometimes if they get used to it, they kind of like lose the gratitude, and so it's kind of like surprise sometimes. Hello. So, this is piano lessons. Lately it hasn't been very faithful. A lot's been going on. En su tercero. Muévese por allá. Uno. Empezando con la así, con la B. This is the high school classes, English classes. This is Sunday school. It got mixed up there, but they were singing a special for the adult group. They were excited. So I have one girl student in all that high school. She's like, I'm like, stick with me, girl. I need your help. So. Right. Well, it's opposite of anywhere else in Honduras, too. It's like his little church has a mountain full of boys, and it's just, this is evangelism with the young guys. Was this Day of the Dead or something?
Yeah.
This is when I first got my car back in June, July. This is how full it was, and then we started using the bus because it didn't all fit. I had to go twice, you know. And now I couldn't go pick them up in my car if I wanted to because there's like 80 people that come on the bus every week. This mother here in the corner, she's been coming since the beginning. And so now it's kind of like I have an extra, she's not like bona fide certified teacher help, but she helps. So, and then these are the two cousins that came this summer to help. And there's some in there, I'm like, I see their faces, and I'm like, the Lord brought you here for a reason, because you are ornery. You are ornery, and the Lord has good plans for you, because trust me, I know. This little guy, he just adores my class, and so.
Va a decir el verdadero significado del verde. El verde significa la nueva en Cristo, vida en Cristo, la nueva.
She's been a big help. So, it gets overwhelming. Like, it could be an hour or 2 hour event, but it feels like it's a week. They've all kind of been there. So. Lately, we've had to divide the children's classes there for the Bible Club into 3 parts, and each group has between 15 and 30 kids. So we have a youth group that's 11 to 15, and then intermediate group that's between 8 and 9, 8 and 10, between there, and then the little guys. So this is classes from last year. We've had some graduates, so praise the Lord, we don't have to see them again in the high school. But they graduated. This is Miss Lu. She's from Trapiche. And then in February we had youth conference. There was one young girl that got saved. Praise the Lord. But I was in charge of games. English class. This is English class.
And he cast out the spirit with his word and healed all that were sick. Spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Himself
You can understand her, right?
our
She's doing good.
infirmity, and
I have been reading Matthew
our
in English. So.
Gave commandment to depart and to the other side.
The whosoever thou goest.
Okay, so that's the pictures I have. I have mountains and mountains of pictures, but that's the ones we could pull out and share with you this morning. I just wanted to share a verse that's been on my mind ever since we've been coming or planning on coming to the States, because the Lord has just been so gracious. And I say that, but it's like, it seems like such a small phrase. It's totally normal. But every single circumstance seems to have been complicated in some way, and the Lord just like ironed it all out. So I'm going to read for you Psalm 21, verse 2 and 3. It's David speaking, and he's talking about the king, but he's the king, and the Lord is the one who he's talking about. So, thou hast given him his heart's desire, and hast not withholden the request of his lips. For thou preventest him with the blessing of goodness, thou settest a crown of pure gold on his head. And it's not prevent us as in you can't come here. It's like going before us and just like working all the details out. And it's not just providing. He's like, he even crowns it. He just like, bling, makes it super, super special. And so I want to testify of the Lord's goodness today and glorify his name. And thank you all for your prayers. You mean the world to me, and I can't be there without you. So I just wanted to say that. You want to talk about plans for the future?
Yeah.
Question about
Go
the
ahead.
classes.
Yes.
Are some of the pictures like real school and some like school and some of them are like Bible school?
Right.
Yeah.
The ones where the kids are at the little desk chairs, those are my high school classes. I've got all big kids. And you have the little kid pictures, those are Bible Club. Bible Club, that's what I have in my house.
Yeah, we have been working with schools, and since when I was in the Bible Institute, we were using the public schools for we practice our Bible learning. So we were teaching Bible classes on public schools, and after that we have we got put in our mind and our heart to work with schools. And in Honduras is a little bit different. The most guys when they need to go for the high school, they can't because the high school is so far.
They have to travel
Yeah.
to high school.
And maybe pay for more money than they have. So we have a program in Honduras that we are using for bring the classes for the place where we are. So 4 years ago, I went to a public college because the teacher in Honduras, there is a specific university for where we can go for. We are we can say legal teacher, and I am almost finishing this week. The
This
next
is
month
last
is
week
my
in
my
college
graduation.
for his bachelor's degree.
Yeah. So
Talk about doing it all at once.
we have been using the classes, the school, like a ministry because it's a normal school, but we are teaching Bible classes for these guys. Some of these are coming from different religions and different families, but they need the school because it's a neater school that they have. So we use like a ministry, and some of them now are in the church. Some of them now are saved, And we are waiting many more guys from
Expecting many
yeah.
more students next year.
next year. So
Right now is our summer break. So in February, when they do everybody signs up, they're expecting that the word's gotten out, that there's,
yeah, right now we
No
have
better
a school in Trapiche. Is a place where we are preaching, and in Santa Teresa, this is a place where I was born, and I grew up in this church, and we are planning to start a new church, to plant a new church in a big town where there is not a Christian school, and there is not another school than one. So
there's only one school and there's no Baptist churches. There's
yeah.
nothing. It's
So we are planning
a
to
town.
start a new church there with a vision to have maybe a big school there. So I have known that the ministry with the schools is an excellent tool for
To reach people with the
to
gospel.
reach people with the gospel, because they feel the school like a help. So in other way, we can have 100 boys or girls in our church, or many guys in our church. So we are planning to work with ministry with education to reach people, because we have seen that this is a good ministry, and it's a good way to reach them.
The past couple of years with the La Cruz Baptist or the Lighthouse Baptist School, it's been kind of like a practice run on how this ministry is going to work. And so we've tried having it in Choluteca. This year we've had it in 2 different locations, so the students didn't have to travel. And that seems to work better when it's in their area. And what we've been doing is classes on the weekends. So all day Saturday and Sunday, or all day Saturday and part of Sunday, they have really condensed, intense classes, which include on Sunday what the Catholics would call Mass, but for us, they come to church and they learn about.
Yeah.
So they have those 2 hours of Bible, and then just really like, you better take this home and study it, or you're not going to pass this test. So it's a lot like homeschool, but distance. So go study this book. So anyway, so that's kind of how it's working, and he wants the town where we're looking at maybe start another churches. What's it called? El Triunfo. El Triunfo. It's between where I lived right before I moved. There, we're at the property. It's between there and Santa Teresa, and so it's not up in the mountains, but it's pretty far from Choluteca. So, all right. Yeah. Plans for the future? Anything else? You guys pray for him. He wants twins. No, pray for me.
What?
So, yes, sir.
So, language-wise, are you sound like you're fully proficient?
Am I proficient?
Really?
Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
How's
she
my
corrects
Spanish?
me.
I do correct.
She say this is not
That is not
this
right.
V or this word.
Especially when they write it, because there are some letters that sound the same. The B and the V make the same sound, so when they write it out, it's like, okay.
Some people
You can say,
always
throw this
are
trash away
asking-
or vote for this trash. I'm like, I'm not voting for trash, I'm throwing it away. So,
Some people confuse if they are from, if she
yeah,
is from.
they asked me if I'm from there. If they hear me talk in Spanish, they're like, you're from here. I'm like, no.
She's
No, I'm
speaking
not
good
from here.
Spanish.
You're now learning slang.
I'm learning slang. That was the hard part.
That means you must be proficient in
Yes.
regular language.
I'm learning some slang.
Let's hear you speak.
You want to hear me speak?
You guys have a conversation.
You want to hear us speak? Okay. What do we talk about?
Just talk to each other.
They do it all the time.
We do it all the time. You you'll get a chance.
We talk and say nice things to each other and nobody
Yeah.
knows what they're talking about.
Right.
Ask him what he thinks of the church.
¿Qué piensa de la iglesia? ¿Quieren saber?
¿Responde en español o responde en inglés?
En español. ¿Quieren escuchar su español?
Usted va a traducir.
Dele.
Ok, pienso que es una iglesia muy amigable y me siento como en familia.
He feels like our church is very friendly, and he feels like he's in family. He's got a family.
El amor de Dios creo que no tiene fronteras y podemos tenerlo en diferentes lugares donde estemos y demostrarlo.
Okay, you're going really fast, but I'm going to keep up. Okay, so he said he believes God's love doesn't have frontiers, it doesn't have boundaries, and that we can experience it in wherever we are among believers.
Did she say that right? Did she translate good?
¿Ya?
Muy bueno.
Muy bueno.
Muy bueno. Sí, muy
Excelente
bueno.
trabajo.
Ay, ay,
Sí.
ay.
Okay.
Ya.
So, anybody have any questions? We still have half an hour to go, dude.
Are you still doing your music classes, or are those going to be given to somebody else?
I will still be doing them. It's just lately it's been hard to keep up with them, with all the schedule changes, and I've got students that started working, and so when I get back, I'm going to try to be a little bit more disciplined about keeping up with people. Like, okay, get back to me. You can't do it this day, but let's talk about this weekend or whatever. So it just gets away from you every once in a while. But yes, ma'am.
You do have people, girls who are playing.
Yes, I was looking for that video because I have a video of one of my piano students playing for a church service. Okay, and so I was looking for that video, but it was like, ran out of time. But I have a student, she could play for church services, but pray for her. She's just, I think you guys remember when Kayla and Andrea were in that stage where it was like, okay, you have to play for church service. And she's like, I don't want to. You know, you're putting the pressure on now, I don't really want to. So anyway, that's kind of where it's at right now. But she's really good. She's got the mind for it. She wants to serve. She just is shy. So anyway, yeah. So I keep up with her, and she'll ask me things. So I'm hoping before too long. I taught her how to read the notes in the hymnal so that she can take her own songs out of the hymnal. And so, but yeah. So more questions about anything?
So most
Yes.
your service, is it a lot of music? Or is it just a little bit at the beginning and then more preaching?
It's like here.
Because it's like several hours, I mean, you're there like
Yeah.
all day, right?
Okay, so, ¿cómo va el culto? ¿Cómo es el horario? Porque ella siente que es muy largo el tiempo. Here we have 2 services, right? Sunday school and then morning service. There we have everything all together. So everybody sings together, and then me and the kids, we leave. Okay? Pray for a piano player for our church. I feel like, or someone to teach Sunday school. That'd be nice too. I don't feel like I'm split into 5 people.
Daniel is working.
Daniel, right now I have one of his Bible Institute students is teaching Sunday school. So we spent the last 6 weeks, he spent 6 weeks in my class with me, and I'm like, okay, here's the materials. Throw him off the deep end. So that's kind of how that went. But we tried to prepare him as much as we could before things got too crazy. But what was I saying? Oh, so the church service,
Tres cantos.
we have like 3 or 4 songs, the offering, all that stuff, special music, and then we divide. And we have, I don't know, sometimes he can preach for 30 minutes, but most of the time, no. So you got to keep the kids busy, pretty busy. And when they all live close, it's like, bye, I'm gonna go home. I'm like, okay, bye. I can't fight you over these 40 other kids right here. So have a good day. Thank you for coming. It's just one. It's just one or two that live there close, and they're like, my mom didn't come with me. I'm like, well, we're coloring, so if you want to go, the lesson's over with. It's different. I feel like it goes against my grain as American, like how I was raised. Nobody leaves the class until we're done. But like we've had to adapt to something. So, like the dogs coming in church service,
Or chickens.
or the She's a very, very well educated mutt, but that's just because she spent time with me. So. Yes, I have an hour drive on Sunday. Well, before we came here, I was driving to his house and picking him up in my car because his car, we can't go on a motorcycle. So I'd go to his house, and then we'd go up. I think from your house, how long is it? Like 40 minutes. So 20 minutes to his house, 40 minutes to the church, but like an hour-long drive.
How much is gas?
Gas. Hang on. It's 30 lempira for a liter. So it's over like $4 a gallon. It's over $4 a gallon. Yeah. Yeah.
So will you guys be living closer to the church?
We're living at his house. It's right outside Choloteca. I don't know how to explain that to them in American terms anymore, but kind of in the country. My driveway's really rough. It's worse than any country driveway that I know of here, but it's still in the city. So, anyway, it's like 5 minutes outside the city, but still about 40 minutes from the church.
Yeah, the main street that goes through Chalateca from the church that's there, it goes past all of the restaurants and things that we would be comfortable with, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut and Wendy's, and you keep going and go out to Wilman's house out in the country, and the only...
Dad talks about all them restaurants. I don't even know they're there anymore because I'm like, let's go get tacos.
Right.
You know? I don't even think about
Me too.
Like Burger King. No, it doesn't draw my attention whatsoever. So anyway, we found our new favorites. So we don't have to, yeah.
Sure.
No.
Country's not like our country. The dealers is not like where you live.
No.
Well, no.
15 minutes from town is, for us, is you can go a long way. But
Well, you don't get very far in 15 minutes there because of
the road.
the potholes and the pedestrians and the bicycles and
And
the
the herd of cows.
and the herd of cows that walk across the road in front of you.
Yes.
Well, that's what they call country, all
But
right?
it's one of like the 6th largest city in Honduras.
They don't have fences
Should it be that?
to keep the animals in. And the road system there, and you'll see in the middle of the road, the pothole the manhole cover is still there in the middle of the road, but the road is kind of like driving through the pasture here or going up a creek bed. It is rough, and you have to go very slow, or you will tear your car to pieces. And so, yeah, it's
Graduate from a Corolla to a more stout vehicle.
Yes.
her car would not possibly go where his house is. The roads are that
I did
rough.
drive there one time, but it was in the dry season, and it was in through a different way. It wasn't through. It was like you have to come. Yeah. It's like trying to cross the creek on top of the rocks. You know, you got to go find them. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just drive over the manhole.
Because they haven't built the road up yet. So.
They do have the septic system running down the middle of the street like here, but there's no official road there like here. So my driveway is better than most of the roads in Honduras.
Yeah,
Same.
that is true.
Yeah. Questions? Help us out.
Other than him, what's the favorite thing you like about being in Honduras?
Are you my favorite thing? Oh. Let me think. I mean, like,
No.
I'll share my house with you. I'll share my car with you, but don't ask me for the tacos, okay? They're mine. Right? No, they're not for sure. We had mom and dad try something new. It's a Guatemalan taco, but it wasn't too impressive because it kind of, I don't know, it had to travel. It's better when it's hot, right? So that's been one of my favorites lately. So,
Yeah. And a plate of Guatemalan tacos costs
75 limps, that's about $3.
$3 a person, and you
$3
get
a
as much
person, and
food.
it's like 6 corn tortillas, like wrapped with meat and all kinds of nice stuff inside. It's yummy.
Right. And
Yeah, it's
a good
like
pork chop, barbecued
the
pork
most
chop.
you pay for like a pork steak with all the fixins is 125 limps. That's like $5 maybe.
$4.50, $5.
But considering what the people make,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that for them that's like, ooh, that's a lot of money. You don't get pork chops whatever day of the week, and I'm like, I gotta eat these every day. No, I don't. But that's a joke. They are really good though. What else was I gonna say?
Not cold.
Coolest, the temperature, the coolest temperature, huh?
30.
Like 70 something.
At night.
Nothing about that's at night. There's some days I can put a sweater on at night, but never ever ever in the daytime. Never ever ever.
and that's at sea level, not up in the mountain.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, yes. Ooh, there's a place that we went with Kayla up to the top of the mountains. There's like a little, those were cow palace going up in there. But we went up there and they have windmills, the hydraulic for the electricity. It was probably 60 something when we left, right at about dark.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
I want you to explain
Uh-huh.
the ministry and the need for support because of
Okay.
what the ministry is and how that works.
Okay.
So, for example, the church and income and the schooling and and teaching and what income that provides for you.
Yeah, everything is by faith because when I moved to preach to Trapiche, there was 5 or 6 people. The plan with this when I moved there was only the church don't disappear. I was going one time weekly.
Mhm.
In this place they don't have many chance or
There's no work.
no works. They grow corn or beans, but not enough
So,
for business. Only for maybe for they can eat.
substantial living is
Yeah,
what it is.
so they don't have enough in everything. So I was working, the last year I was working in a school in the city, the half time, and I was going to the church in my motorcycle that is cheaper than a car.
Yeah.
And it's less expensive. So this year I was working the half time, but didn't was okay because this school was not paying. I think right now they need. I didn't continue working since
July.
July because since March to July, they say, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough money for paying. And I was spending money for drive and many things in the school, and they was not paying. So now I am living only by faith. The church hasn't enough. They haven't enough to pay, and the school is a ministry that we use not for. Nobody paid anything. Not because we don't want they pay, it's because they don't have. If we say you need to pay for come to our school, they don't go.
They won't go.
They don't have, so.
Offerings maybe a chicken or a bag of rice or corn. So
on this way, the ministry is going there.
my job basically hasn't changed, so other than more of the same. So as far as living by faith, that's what I've been doing. So for him, it's a little bit new because his work has not been paying him. So he was working from March until July in a school, and they weren't treating him right. And so he quit there, and then he's been spending a lot more time with the church, with the young guys and Bible Institute, and then with the school. So he's been acting as director. I don't know if you guys know this, but Brother Richie's school that he was having, the La Cruz Baptist School, or Lighthouse Baptist School, I forget what it's called anymore, but Lighthouse Baptist School, he's been was doing all the paperwork for it, and so he knows the system, and now he's been in charge of the two schools, the two distant schools that have been going on, and none of that is paying him. He doesn't take a penny from that, so he spends a lot of energy and time in that stuff. So, does that answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
And maybe somebody has a question about that, but any other questions?
Y'all know how we met, so you don't have to ask that question, but.
Online?
Yeah, totally. No, I told him the other day, I said, you sent me, I had Facebook like the year I left because Corona and people wanted meetings on, Facebook time or whatever. And so I got Facebook for that, and then like right away he sent me 3 friend requests, like, cause I deleted them. I don't do the single guy stuff, I don't do that. And so anyway, I told him the other day, you sent me 3 of them dumb friend requests, and he's like, and what'd you do? You did it? I am so mad at you. You forgive me? You forgive me? He's like, yeah. Yeah, well, it's better in person anyway, so.
I live by faith.
Anyway.
Okay.
So something.
All right. So.
Any more questions?
Yeah. So what I hope that you got from that was Rachel went there. We sent her there to help with these church plants and with the schools that they were using to minister to people. Wilman was raised up in one of those churches.
You didn't tell him anything about your family.
Yeah, maybe in just a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he was raised up in one of the mountain churches, Santa Teresa, with Pastor Augusto, and he was trained to be a preacher through that ministry, and then began preaching in the public schools, and that led him into the schooling ministry, and he has been going to school for that, just about to get his degree for that, and in the meantime was working at one of the public schools, which didn't pay him, but the ministry, the future outlook is he's going to continue trying to keep the Trapiche Church growing, which the economics there is they raise enough crops to survive, but they don't have work. This isn't a region where there's no businesses for these people to work, so they just survive there. and then have classes there for the young people so that they can get an education, so that they can get a job at some point, but you can't charge somebody that doesn't have money for an education, or they won't be able to go because they don't have any money to pay for the education so they can go get a job. So it's really trying to raise the whole standard of living for those people. And in the process of offering this as a service, you're reaching them with the gospel and changing the trajectory of their life
Giving
because
them a
of that.
basic skill set that they can use.
Reaching the young people, and through that reaching the adult people. And this is going on right now in 2 locations, but soon 3 locations, and maybe more locations than that. But in the meantime, the drive from the city, Choluteca, to his house is pretty bad. But the drive from there to any of these mountain villages to teach is absolutely horrendous. You could lose 2 tires on any one trip to some of these places, and that's in the good season. So anyway, the point that I wanted to make there is the expenses for them to minister to these people are real expenses that they have no means to charge those people for because they have no means to pay. So this is an opportunity to reach the gospel. And if you followed Brother Richie on Facebook, you know he's reaching out to, what's that place called?
He calls it the Pista, but it's in San Lorenzo.
San Lorenzo is the name of that city, but he's calling it the Pista.
The Pista because it's on an old airstrip.
Right.
So
anyway, Brother Sam Martin, he was stationed in Honduras. And so him and I this last week got to talk a lot about that, and he was on the team that helped set those airstrips up and maintain them and all of that. So he's been all over Honduras doing that with our federal government, so with the military. So anyway, tell them about your family. You got maybe 5 minutes to go, so tell us about your family.
Okay, my family in Honduras, they are in the church. My mom and 2 sisters. I have 2 brothers living in Texas, here in the USA. And my 2 sisters was before I went to Trapiche, before I moved to preach there, I was teaching in the Bible Institute in Santa Teresa. My 2 sisters were my students.
That's fun.
They graduate when I finish.
They're older than him too. So
Yeah.
Poor guy.
And my mom is now in the Bible Institute. She is 57. And yesterday I was talking with her, and I because the classes there is on the weekend, and I asked her if she was in the classes, and she said not, because the same student from the Bible Institute there are the same, the youth are the same than the school, than the high school. So if they have, for example, a test with the high school, they don't have classes with the Bible Institute. They change the time.
They have to compensate for each other. So some of the same ones that are in the high school are in the Bible Institute. So the teachers are trying not to clash the tests on the same weekend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
because it's hard.
So his mom wasn't able to make it to class yesterday because there was a test in the high school.
And sometimes she couldn't be in the classes because she has a heart problem, and sometimes she don't feel good. And always I'm telling her continue studying, and when she has the opportunity, because it's wonderful to know that my mom is continue learning about God, and I know that when a people know more about God, is closer and love more, and this is my family. My mom was saved when I was 4 years, and I say always this was the best decision she took, because she was taking me, that the service there is a little bit different. We have the Sunday school for kids before
Everything.
before everything.
So
And-
there's 3 hours.
yeah, and after this class, the kids don't have anything to do, so some of them come back their houses, their home, but I can't, because my mom want I be with her in the same place where
She was a protective mother
preaching-
and didn't let him leave church.
when I was a little boy, I was sleeping always when my pastor was preaching,
Sleep.
but this was excellent, because I grew up enjoying the preaching. I don't care if the preacher preach more than an hour or 2 hours. It is okay, because I was growing on this. Yeah, so my family is a big blessing to me. We are so close. So always when we have maybe a problem or a need, we are so close. So it's a big blessing. They are a big blessing to me.
Your brothers in Texas, they're in Houston?
In Dallas.
Dallas?
Yeah.
Are they Christian?
But
Your brothers?
They saved.
they are not saved. They were going to a church, but I think they are not saved. So we are planning to visit them and find because I think they were 16 for I don't know what kind of church it is, but we are planning to visit there and find a good church
Maybe help them find a
and help them to find a.
They don't speak English, his brothers, and so, right?
Yeah.
They don't speak English, so we're gonna try to help them find
Spanish church.
a Spanish church. But here, and I was explaining this to him when I was there. I'm like, sometimes I don't know the options because I don't know how to ask the question when I'm there. Okay, when I'm in Honduras and I need something welded, okay, on the car. He's like, I just go to the car shop and I say, this is broken, what do I do? And they like buy a new one. And he's like, he's got the option. So when he's with me and the car breaks, we're here and there and everywhere, and we spend like maybe $20. And so, so anyway, sometimes here in the States as Spanish speakers, they don't know because they don't have the communication skills to ask. And so we're just going to try to help them out a little bit there. And
Yeah.
Amen.